welcome back to the wrap. It's time, that time again, for Yea or Nay. First up, while participating on a CNN panel discussing yesterday's Benghazi hearing, CNN legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin offered up a rather controversial argument. Toobin suggested that what happened in Benghazi 4 years ago might possibly have been Ambassador Stevens' fault. Take a listen.
There's another point that nobody wants to raise exactly because it's considered perhaps in bad taste, but Ambassador Stevens himself, did he make an intelligent decision in exposing himself and all these security guards to the obvious risks? Did he make a mistake in going into this extremely dangerous situation? Obviously, no one wants to blame this man. He was obviously a very accomplished diplomat. He wanted to be out among the people, but did he engage in unduly risky behavior?
I'm kind of caught not knowing what to say. It may be in bad taste to say it, so I'll do it.
No, look, obviously it's reprehensible. If he had a moral compass, he'd be ashamed of himself, but he has none, so he's not. But this reminds me of what Eleanor Clift told me, that he wasn't murdered because Stevens died of smoke inhalation. He died of smoke inhalation. It wasn't murder. Same vein.
Yeah, okay, that's...
I just think that there's no reason to try to pass blame on a hero in this situation whatsoever.
I agree, Jonathan. I suspect
you're going to be surprised. I'm not saying I agree with what Jeffrey Toobin said, but I do think that as hot of an area as that was, that Ambassador Stevens should not have been there. That compound was terrible. He knew it was bad. He kept asking for extra security. It didn't come. At what point does an ambassador make an intelligent decision to just get out of there?
But what if he thought it was something that was part of his job, that he had to be there?
Well, that's something that he should, that I think in retrospect they may have needed to consider before it pull back, fix the security, and then come back.
You know,
I'm not blaming him, but I'm saying that these are things that, I think.
What's particularly interesting, he wasn't supposed to be there that day.
Yeah.
So, all right, these are tough times for the Bush campaign, and they are now planning to reduce salaries, cut travel costs, and downsize their staff in order to focus all of their resources on New Hampshire. Apparently, the Bush campaign has burned through 86% of their campaign funds, meaning they've spent $11.5 million of their $13.4 million campaign budget. All of these cuts begin to sound awfully familiar. So the question is this a sign that Jeb Bush is about to go the way of Rick Perry, and that this is the beginning of the end for Jeb Bush, Steve?
Nay, he has a lot more money and resources and contributors than Rick Perry, and he's not getting out till the bitter end.
Right.
I think it's a smart move. I think that he's trying to control costs. I think that he did underestimate how long and how tough Trump would be in this, so he's trying to save funds. I hope he stays in it.
Jonathan?
I think he's going to stay in. I think you're right until he runs out of money, which is never going to be never. I mean, he just will get out when the votes start, or the polls start dropping to
well, you know what's kind of interesting? It gets a little bit confusing because while we know his super PAC has tons of money, that money can't be spent on maintaining his campaign organization.
He has no control over it.
So he doesn't have that kind of money in his campaign. So you do begin to wonder, people thinking that Trump is going to get this nomination, Bush keeps falling down, they may stop giving him the money to run that operation.
Especially after the first couple of primaries and caucuses. If he doesn't do well, he's done.
I think that's right. And finally tonight, we take a look at the President and the First Lady singing Happy Birthday to Usher.
Is that what it is? Okay. This is... Yeah. Oh, look at that. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Are you getting this? Happy birthday, dear Usher. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There you go. And that's a good cupcake, too.
All right, guys, I don't want to say the president's cheap, but when Usher came to my house for his birthday, I gave him a whole damn cake.
I don't know enough about Usher, but if he has any obscene lyrics or anti-police lyrics, then he should be ashamed of himself.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Obscene. He's got some obscene.
Does he have Usher?
He's got some. I mean, not obscene, but he's got
not a
some,
rapper.
No, and definitely not anti-police. But
Okay.